Picture this. You're alone late one night and you're channel surfing, half paying attention, mainly looking for background noise to play while you scroll on your phone. You pick a random channel and think that'll be it, but then something catches your eye. There's a woman on TV that looks like you. She's short, solid build, thick legs, a long torso. Body traits that for a while you've kind of beaten yourself up for having. Body traits that don't look like the beautiful actresses you're so used to seeing on screen. You think, wonder what jokes they're going to make about her. And then you hear something that you have never heard before on TV. She gets called a goddess.
The goddess was forced to feed on a little humble pie, courtesy of SmackDown's women's champion.
And then
the
you
Queen,
watch on.
Charlotte
You see
Flair.
this goddess is joined by a plus-sized Samoan woman who's described as irresistible. That's also the first time you've ever seen that. And as you watch on, you realize, holy crap, is wrestling actually good? Hi, I'm Holly Prentice, coming to you from the lands of the Whadjuk Noongar people, and this is The Ladies Who Punch, a 3-part podcast series on women's wrestling, what it is, and why it's so important in today's media landscape.
You don't like sports entertainment, Wayne?
I got a wee bit of time for sports entertainment.
Episode 1 is Wrestling 101, an insight into what women's wrestling looks like today and how it got here. And for that, I need an expert. Also very much like the Nakamura painting.
Yes, that's signed as well.
Oh, you're kidding. This is Ben Robinson, self-professed wrestling obsessed, creator of his own wrestling podcast, and currently working as a commentator for the West Australian wrestling circuit. When you talk to someone who knows women's wrestling very well and you ask them about the history, more often than not, they are going to name 2 women, because these 2 women are cited often as the inspiration for everything. They are the ones who set the ball rolling and made the women's evolution what it can be today.
Yeah, Trish and Lita came in and they were breaking ground, and then when they main evented Raw that one time, it changed everything.
Trish Stratus and Lita are often regarded as 2 of, if not the 2, greatest female wrestlers of all time. They broke glass ceilings in a way that would make Stone Cold proud. But looking back through a media lens when analysing the spots they had on television, and you notice that a lot of the storylines that were being aired that they were in have not aged very well in today's media landscape.
Oh, see, I remember Lita taking her top off, just having her bra on to do moonsaults and stuff before that with the Hardy Boys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the early 2000s, Lita was involved in Team Extreme, a tag team of her and brothers, the Hardy Boys. In real life, Lita was in a relationship with Matt Hardy, but had an affair with fellow wrestler Edge. This was made into a storyline that revolved around Lita being painted as a homewrecker, and this culminated in what has gone down as one of the worst spots of the 2000s. Lita and Edge doing a live sex performance in the middle of the ring. There was a bed in the ring. It is just as bad as it sounds.
You're right. I mean, that's it. They had a great match, but they weren't treated as they weren't treated as equal.
Trish Stratus is often cited as the greatest female wrestler of all time. She was number 30 in the first all-women's Royal Rumble. She was involved in some of the greatest feuds of the 2000s. Her feud with Mickie James is infamous. And she's regarded as a role model and a Canadian icon for nearly every female wrestler that's come after her. Seriously, the list of current female wrestlers who have directly cited Trish Stratus as an inspiration to their work is gargantuan. However, you Google Trish Stratus on Google Images, the first thing that comes up is Trish Stratus GIF. And you can only imagine what the GIFs of her focus on.
I'm listening.
Trish Stratus.
For what reason? Because she's Canadian?
I can think of a couple big old reasons.
Like what?
Well, her athleticisms and integrities.
Trish had huge boobs, and Lita had her G-string basically coming out of the top of her pants, and that's what garnered the attention of them. You know, you didn't think like, oh wow, Lita's actually had lucha libre training, and you know, Trish has been busting her guts there.
See, that is the hardest part, and what can also be seen as the best part about seeing where we've come and where we are now. Looking back at these icons, Trish Stratus and Lita, who have more than earned their place in the halls of fame, their icon status, their role model and mentoring is something this industry will most likely be grateful for generations to come. But you look back at their work and it's tainted by the bikini matches and the live sex performances and the sexist, misogynistic stories and positions that these women were put in on television. Nowadays, the stuff that they were doing would not fly on TV. And that can be seen as a good thing.
I never would have thought in a million years we would have seen a women's main event at WrestleMania. You know, I never would have thought we would have seen another MMA star after Ken Shamrock come in to WWE and, again, main event WrestleMania, and a woman. And then again, never would have thought we'd see women's MMA either. You know, it's just, equality has come such a long way. The one thing that does bug me is that WWE still don't do intergender wrestling.
Intergender wrestling is something that we have quite a good showing for here in Australia, and it's one of the things I'll be discussing in the next episode of The Ladies Who Punch, where I talk to the next generation of talent from Explosive Pro Wrestling about how they're hoping to bring more women into the industry. Thank you so much for checking out the first episode of Ladies Who Punch. I'd like to give a big thank you to Ben Robinson for taking the time out to talk to me. You can catch him commentating for Southern Hemisphere Wrestling Alliance, and hopefully I'll see you listening in to episode 2. See you then.